right, morning.
Morning.
Um, Really, same thing I said last night. I'll just reiterate. Just really proud of the guys and fighting through and finding a way there at the end. I thought a number of players stood out on defense. Obviously, you had those linebackers step at the forefront and come through for us. Montez had a huge game and really impacted the outcome there. And then Shawnee's interception was one of the most athletic plays and phenomenal catches I've seen in a long time. So. Um, and not to mention, I thought what's undersung about what Shawnee's doing right now is how much he's influencing the run game as well. He's coming up, he's tackling the ball carrier. They're throwing a bubble screen, and he's knifing through and making a play there. And so he's really playing sound football and really run game and pass game included. So that was good to see. Special teams stood out to me in a positive fashion there. I thought HT had a great plan. Our kickoff is really starting to become a weapon for us. Cairo's doing a phenomenal job with some of these dirty kicks, and it's really helping us with our field position there to start drives on defense. And so that was good to see. A guy like Nico, who had been on practice squad all year long, stepped to the forefront there and did a really nice job on special teams, and so that was good. He's another guy that didn't even talk about last night, but just another example of these guys stepping up when their numbers called. Offensively, was really proud about the pass pro. That's a really good unit. Their front is in terms of getting pressure on the quarterback, and I thought across the board for most of that game, our guys kept them as at bay as I had seen on tape so far this year. And so credit to Ozzie for stepping up, and have not playing a lot of ball yet this year, and he played a really solid game for us. And um, I thought it was really good. So our run game wasn't quite as efficient as we'd like it to be, and yet our pass game, we were able to find enough plays there to somehow score 30 points. And so would like to finish that game a little bit better on offense. Had a couple possessions there in the fourth quarter where felt like we could close it out, and we came up short, and our defense came through for us. So that's really kind of how I saw that one. No, it's a short week. This will be a different challenge here for our players. Just haven't had one 5-day span like this, and so it'll be a race to get our bodies feeling as good as we possibly can, get the game plan downloaded. I know our coaches are working hard right now, putting some good plays together and good thoughts together so that we can execute and play fast at a high level against a really good football team here on the road. So excited about that challenge. I'll go ahead and open it up.
Caleb was talking last night about missing some throws that he usually doesn't miss, when his accuracy is a little wonky. Is there a way to kind of get him unstuck there? I know you've talked over the year about once we get that first down, is some of that him getting in the rhythm too?
Well, I think that's a little bit of getting to know particular players. It's so for some guys I've been around, it's, hey, well, let's just get him a couple completions on quick game. Let's go to quick game and get the ball out of his hands quick and shorter throws, get him back on track, get in a rhythm. Each guy's a little bit different. I don't know that that's the answer necessarily for Caleb. I have some thoughts on that, but I do think he settled down once we got through a few of those missed ones, and he ended up making some big ones for us as well. So something we'll continue to work through.
When you run the play action right, and I think you have Burden on a post to the left, and he throws high. Is that a catchable ball, do you think? Or
I would like to see it brought down a little bit. Yeah.
And you don't win 8 and 9 in this league without a significant level of buy-in from the players. What do you sense players are responding to that's created this surge of success?
Well, I think we got the right type of guys, and that's, Ryan's really done a great job with constructing the roster that way. But the veteran leadership is outstanding. Kevin Byard, Joe Tooney, Grady, probably have 10 or 12 guys that I really lean into on a weekly basis just to get a pulse of the team, and they do a really good job of keeping the main thing in the locker room. As a coaching staff, we always try to have the right messaging for whatever that week entails, and the path to victory to team building, things of that nature. And I think it's come along really well done, but it's really those veterans that I just can't sing their praises enough. They lead the charge there in terms of how that locker room responds each and every week, and being able to hit that reset button. And we've had some success, and yet we go right back to work come Wednesday of last week, or this week it'll be Monday. You know, it's a quick turnaround, and so we got to maintain that high level of focus so that we don't falter whatsoever.
Multiple players after the game yesterday gave you credit for keeping all the reserves ready to play and able to contribute. That obviously happened yesterday. What's the key to doing that? What's your philosophy of like even second and third stringers getting them ready to play in the game?
Well, this is kind of what I'm accustomed to. You know, it's where I've been in the past. This is what happens this time of year. Guys go down and someone else has to step up, and so the vision has been from the time we ended training camp that if you're a special teams player on the 53, be ready to be starting at some point on offense or defense. And likewise, if you're a practice squad player, be ready to be called up. We've tried to develop them over the course of the year. You know, our coaching staff, I think they do a really good job of not just coaching the guys that are going to be playing on Sunday, but making sure we're coaching the show teams as well. You know, guy like Kyle DeVan, I see him in that show team huddle every single day, and not just to get the right look for our defense, but also to coach up our young offensive linemen to make sure that they're developing also. So I think there's a balance of that goes on. I think those guys know that they're not just here to fill a spot. They have a big role to play in terms of what we're doing, and so when their number is called, they don't shy away from it.
And what's the process been like to get Ozzie ready to play left tackle? Because the last full practice we got to see at the end of the preseason, he was second string right tackle. What have the last couple months been like?
Yeah, well, we've bounced them around. You know, anytime if you're not a starter, then you really need versatility, and so these guys are all over the place, right side, left side. Guys are playing center. I mean, it's in and out, and that's how you continue to grow over the course of the season. And so he's done a really good job of handling that. I think all of our guys had, Jordan McFadden was up and active yesterday, and he would have been a guy, if his number was called, we would have had a lot of confidence in as well, whether it's out at tackle or inside at guard. And so it's a big credit there to our O-line coaches and the job that they've done all year long getting these guys ready to play.
Tomlin was saying-
The improved pass protection, you mentioned how pleased you were with it yesterday, just from like week 1 to where we are now.
Well, yeah. Probably, I think more than anything is probably just the gelling of those guys. They certainly understand the schemes that we're running at a higher level. We do try to help out sometimes with our backs or our receivers or our tight ends, and whether it's presence or through chips and nudges, just to be as firm as we can be on the edges. And but no, I think the communication aspect is at a high level. Drew Dahlman leads the charge there, making sure we got the fronts identified and we're all on the same page. And so that's always the starting point. And then the longer you go, the better you get at your technique, as long as you're approaching each day the right way. And so I think that we have.
We don't know any more about Ruben and Tyreek, and did anything else pop up?
Yeah, I had nothing from last night yet. Yeah, we'll find out later on today.
One of the things on the broadcast they were pointing out was that there were several occasions where Caleb got the ball, he threw the pass within less than 2 seconds. Does that kind of follow what you just talked about, the offensive protection that's enabling that to happen?
Well, yeah, there's certain times if we can get number one open that quickly, then that's a good thing, right? And we haven't always been able to get that done as a coaching staff, but no, that was a point of emphasis on certain plays there yesterday, that we did want to be a little bit quicker in some of those primary receivers and the depth of their route or what they were doing. So Caleb did a nice job in that regard.
Defensively, you got 2 looks at stopping the tush push yesterday. What was notable to you about the 4th down stop you did make, and then obviously the one that got out the gates when they did a variation?
Yeah, no, I thought up front, I thought it started there. It's such a hard play to really talk about a whole lot, because you're really crouching that neutral zone, and it seems like there's a lot of movement right there at the snap on both sides. And so, no, I thought Big Bill, I think it started with him over top of the center, and then the rest of our guys did a nice job just stopping that charge, and huge play for us at that time. And then the second one, we probably just need to be a little bit more sound in terms of knowing what the compliments are off of that play.
We haven't seen a
Saying that the middle was tough to defend, particularly the end breakers, Caleb out play action. Is that an area where he's most comfortable throwing to the middle of the
I think he's getting more comfortable there, and he hit a few, and then there were a couple that we were talking about a minute ago that we felt like if we bring it down just a little bit, that we could have a couple more explosives there in that game. And so it's an area that he has improved dramatically since I got here. You know, from the springtime all the way up to this point. And so I think he's got a lot more confidence throwing those things inside the numbers. Some guys get a little bit nervous and get a little bit afraid to do that, and he's not that type. You know, he's always been a high level seam thrower or bender versus too high, but now when you're talking about the daggers or the drift routes that we have in, I think he's done a nice job of trusting the fact that he can turn his back to the defense and yet still flip around and make a decision whether he can pull the trigger or not.
Ben, you mentioned Shawnee, you know, he's tied for the league leading interceptions. You have 2 corners who may come back as soon as this week, probably, maybe. How do you guys weigh, you know, his role going forward?
Yeah, that's the fun part, isn't it? No, he is he's done a phenomenal job, and I think he has certainly earned playing time.
And you mentioned Ozzy. What specifically about his performance yesterday really stood out as you went back and watched?
Consistency. You know, he didn't miss a beat there. Communication was really good between him and Joe. You know, I think he did a nice job whenever he had help on his side of being slow to drag out, and so he was helping out, being firm to the inside while allowing the guys outside of him to do their jobs. And so just a full understanding of the game plan and what we're trying to get done, and you know, it's a great start for him to build on.
We haven't seen a lot of design runs for Caleb, but like that 4th and 1, what did you like about the execution? Why was that the right time to pull out that play call?
Yeah, they gave us a good look for that one. I thought the O-line did a great job just making sure that they built the wall there to the inside. Really driven by the tight end. You know, we had a 6 technique, and he was able to pin him on down, and so it became really a 2-on-1, if you will, with Swifty leading the charge there on the corner. And so Swifty, key block, and then huge play for us there. And want to get Caleb out of bounds just a little bit sooner, but you know, the crazy thing is when things like that happen, it almost ignites your sideline even more. You know, it was a completely legal hit. You know, he was in bounds, but at the same time, just to see the whole sideline come to life, I think it kind of adds another spark there to your offense and really your whole team. Thank you.
Thank you.